Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. So today I am playing a game with the new paints from Dina Wakley and using a colour combination that I don't believe I have ever used before, but actually I really like it. So I'm working in the white 6-inch journal from Dina Wakley, just for a change, try and mix it up a bit. And I'm using some collage paper from the Painted Marks collage paper set to just add some pattern onto the page before I get started. It's a great way to sometimes sort of spark that inspiration. Didn't really know where I was going to go with this when I started. I just knew which colours I was going to use. So this is syrup, and it's almost got a bit of like a golden hue to it. So when it's watered down, it could almost be like a sort of, I don't know, it's like caramel. It's beautiful. It's a lovely colour. So I've just spread that across the page. Sorry about my arm going across the camera. I've got quite a watery brush, and then I'm just spritzing it just to get some drips going down the page too. Right, so there we go. So then I knew I wanted quite a watery look with this, so that's why I did that. So then once it was dry, I'm then going in with some of the text collage paper and just adding a few pieces of that here and there. If you didn't have any of that, you could always just do your own sort of scribbly writing here and there. But this is, I do like to have a bit of text in my journaling. Sometimes it's good to write it, and sometimes, you know, stamps and things like that work just as well. So sticking that in place using some gel medium. And that piece I've stuck on back to front just so that it would be a little bit more in the background rather than the foreground. Next I'm using the angled paint blobs stencil, and I'm using that with sand, as in the sand paint, not actual sand. Just working with this sort of colour palette. So when I first got these paints from Ranger, I did lots of swatches and just came up with some ideas of colour combinations. I mean, obviously there are just so many ways that you could use them, but I just came up with a few ideas that I decided I would use for some of my journal pages for these videos. And this is one, so using sand, syrup and apricot. So the colours are all fairly similar, and when I put the apricot through this spaced dots stencil, which is also from Dina Wakley, it didn't really show up as well as I thought it would do. It kind of a bit of a muchness next to the sand, and that was why I decided I needed a bit of a pop of colour, so went in with the Tangelo, which you'll see really kind of brings it alive. I love this colour. I think I never realised that I liked orange, but this is such a pretty orange. It's so lovely. It's so vibrant. So I just painted a few areas of that in, and then felt it needed a bit more, so I reverted to my usual thing of loving circles. So let's pop some circles in there, just here and there, in little groups, and just painting those freehand. If you weren't so sure about doing that, then you could obviously use a stencil to help you do that. And then I mixed a bit of white with the Tangelo and made a paler colour. So sticking with the same colours and just using white to change that up a little bit. So really this was just about playing with the colours and making marks and just seeing where this page kind of went, because I didn't really have a plan before I started. So then once it was nice and dry, I'm going in with my black gel pen, which, as you know, this isn't a waterproof pen, it is just an ordinary gel pen. I'm just doing some sketchy lines around some of the elements that I've added onto the page. And then I decided that instead of having any other focal point, that my writing would be the focal point, and I did my writing kind of weaving between the things that I'd stuck on the page. You will never regret being brave. It doesn't often feel like that at the time, and it's not an easy thing to do sometimes to be brave, but I think that's probably true. Never regret being brave. In the long run, maybe it should say at the end, I don't know. And then I'm just going back in with my Posca pen and just thickening up some of those letters just to make them stand out a little bit more. Must admit, while I was writing that, I was thinking, I am going to run out of space. I'm going to run out of space, but I got it in, so it was all right. And then I'm just using my white gel pen and just going in, doing a bit more mark making on there too. Just helps to pull some things out and make them a little bit more interesting. And also, I don't know when to stop sometimes. And then I decided that I would just use my pen and just add a shadow, I would call it a shadow, or like a highlight onto each letter, kind of where the shadow would go, just to pop those letters out a little bit more. Okay, and that's the next page that I have done using some of the new colours from Dina Wakley. So I hope you're enjoying these videos. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll come back again and see what I do in the next video. Hope to see you again soon.